Europe. He's like, I am not working 6 hours a week, but he stayed, and then he was going to take already posting it on your Facebook page? Yeah. So yeah, so he was ready to take, he was about to take. Did you use my partner? And there's no foot. But you have your charger, you just don't have. You have extension cord? Yep. Wait, my friend was you the app. Yeah, on Facebook. I know that's good. You ain't on Facebook? No. I'm about to get rid of all my stuff. God damn, I need one of you. You can pull it up on your YouTube and share on do a watch party on Facebook. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting rid of all personal. I took me forever to figure out who the hell that was. I had to watch it, but he not. That's all. He just fell in love with it. He's just a groupie that fell in love. Yeah. That's all. Yeah. It is what it is. They just took him up through there. Will said, hey, he ain't too deep. You gotta cut it off. And yeah, it took me a minute to figure out who the hell it was. I'm like, why does people keep popping up on my Google? Who is this person? Oh, this other thing. Extension cord. Set up and I will get my own cool. That's terrible. Yeah. Yeah, that was hilarious. I remember. So I don't know if you said it. What do you do? I'm at high school administrator. What's it? Oh, okay. How long have you been there? 7 years. Have you been out of school for 7 years? What are you doing? My nephew in the West Side, very high guy. Played baseball. You know, he took my baseball last year. What year did you come out? You know? Not really. It's been like recently, like, I would say probably about 3 years. I got him. He graduated, you know. I worked with the Magnet program, so I didn't. Oh, okay, all right. We was gonna come my daughter up there. Okay. But like listen to it, it was like, man, no, you know. If you're gonna sign her up for it, then I was the person who was doing the presentation. Okay. My wife she went to okay. She went to Kill, and then when we took her to Kill. Kick South Fulton? Yeah. Okay. She was gonna do that. We went to the next program. Then she was like, we were like, nah, you ain't gonna make it. She didn't fix that. Gotcha. So my friends were. Yeah. It's so hot. And then there was a period of time where Mark Sucker didn't care for me. What did you do, huh? Basically, I didn't let in people that he thought was supposed to be let in. So I created an objective evaluation system, and your kids just didn't score high enough to get in. Like, it's not my fault. Don't all of a sudden have an attitude now. Don't be a girl about it. It's objective and telling you what it is. Huh? Don't be a girl about it.
did. That's what that was, an investment.
I understand. That's the SSD card.
Yeah.
That's it. What the one.
And you like you get take that apart. You can't take this one apart.
For real?
I take this apart, it voids everything. And we'll shut itself down and turn it into a brick.
Yeah.
That was an asshole. I hope they got that.
Damn.
They know what they doing.
Proprietary.
I'm just going here for it. Yeah, man.
Good.
Yeah. We said we live. So we super live.
All right. 1 second. When I get an intro.
What kind of flowers
On my foot? I don't know. These are old school, this is the sailor style tattoo.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? It means something, but
you don't know.
I designed it. It represents something, but I didn't choose the flower style. The tattoo artist did.
Okay. All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Peace and blessing to y'all, man. Let the God take further, man. What's happening?
What's going on, man?
Man, chilling, man. Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy Chef Fly, man, aka Fedora Fly, man. And I got a bunch of guests in the building. But first of all, today is Sunday brunch. You know how we do it, man. It's a crossover episode, and it's kind of crazy because I do a podcast too called J2O, and I got E in the building, so we're doing a crossover podcast, and I got RTJ in the building, and we got a lovely friend in the building. We got a couple more partners we're gonna pull up in a minute. So yeah, man, we just gonna get to it, man. No music this time, man. Technical difficulties, my fault. We just goddamn wing this shit today, man.
But we still gonna win.
We
still gonna do it.
We're going to get to it, man. We got a couple of topics, man, we're going to get into. And unfortunately, the topics is over there. They ain't even goddamn in my hand. But, shit,
Figure it out.
We're going to figure it out, man. We're going to make it work, man. So, did anybody check out Minister Farrakhan over yesterday, man?
I heard he spoke. I heard that he spoke. I don't know what he spoke about, but the thing with that is that it's hard for me to listen to somebody of that. I say of that statue and to actually go out and listen to him, because for me, when I listen to people like that, I think they're putting their religious belief first. So it's real hard that
for many people, their religious belief is above everything.
Yeah, so that's why it's hard. I do want to go listen to him, but like when he did the one in I think New York at Yankee Stadium, years ago, Yankee Stadium.
Yeah,
it took me a while to listen to it, but then after I listened to it, it was a good message, but it still was that religious belief there. Right. So that's why I'm gonna plan on it. I do plan on going to listen to it and just see what things he was touching on, and see if he's actually had a agenda of trying to push everybody to the Islamic Muslim world, American Muslim world. Right. So that's what my thing is with that.
But even within that, there might still be some nuggets that are worth listening to and hearing. because
Yeah.
in all religions, whatever you believe, there really are some human nature, human rights nuggets that are worth paying attention to.
Yeah, I do believe that. It's just that, especially the way where my head is now, I can't go and listen to that right now.
Gotcha.
So I got to clear my stuff up first and then get to that. That's it. But yeah, I do plan on listening. I do want to listen to it.
Man, I'm gonna tell you just fast forward to about an hour and 20 minutes on there.
How long was it?
It was about 3 hours.
Okay, I'm 20 minutes.
But skip forward to get you to about an hour and 20 minutes into it when you get to it, man. And yo, I personally, our partner Ralph, he told me he was gonna check it out, and I was just like, man, I ain't listening to no 87-year-old man. I'm gonna just keep it real with you, but shit. I went ahead and tuned into it, and boy, when he hit the hour and 20 mark, that's when it was just like he hit the fuck it button. You know what I'm saying? He turned up, and he pretty much was on the same shit Killer Mike was on. It was just like, shit,
Okay.
nigga, it's over, bro. You know what I'm saying? All they goddamn asking for y'all forgiveness and shit like that. He was like, nah, it's a wrap on that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I think it should have always been like that, man.
It should have been, but the thing about it is, what I
You said
think
it
is,
should have, or it's always
It
has
should
been?
have been.
Oh,
what I think is, my personal thought process is, when they had their foot on their neck, they let it go. Instead,
They had who
the in the 70s,
was okay.
when
Okay.
a lot of shit was going down, instead of them goddamn keeping their foot on their neck and making them people the government being accountable for their actions, they let it go because, you know, integration had happened and a lot of shit was changing. But
Which today I still
Now-
this is fucked up.
now shit is changing overnight, especially because of social media. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, from my understanding, it's like it took them a year to do whatever march they did. Now niggas is able to do this shit in 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? It's like the environment is totally different to when it was 30 years ago. So now it's like it touched every continent this time. Everybody's protesting, and nobody stopped, especially because of this pandemic. And that is another part of why the domino effect happened, because of the pandemic. Because everybody is able to see, like, oh no, it's injustice everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's no different than what's going on in Israel or what's going on in America at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, fuck that. We fed up. Period, point blank. So
So
y'all gotta take accountability for that shit.
let me ask you this. With that, with you saying there's injustice everywhere and everybody's marching, everybody's down there, are we going to be what are we asking for? Like at the end of the day, what are we asking for?
Equality is still the same thing.
Why are we asking for equality?
Why are we asking for equality?
Yeah.
Civil, to be civil. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, man,
Equity and fairness is two totally different things, though. Like, so are we asking for equality or are we asking for fairness? Because fairness takes into consideration the systemic issues that we dealt with and the repercussions of decades upon decades upon decades of us being held back. That's what fairness is. Equality is something totally different. We still gonna be digging ourselves out of a damn hole with equality.
yeah.
And so I really think as a community, we're all asking for different things, to be honest. And there's just as much as there's an educated Black person that listen to Farrakhan's like, man, that's it. There's another person who's like, that's the wrong thing. That ain't it. And I think that's part of what's wrong with politics, wrong with the Democratic Party too. It's like everybody wants something different, and nobody has, like, no one vision is the same. And we struggle to get behind. But Republicans will vote for the party loyalty. They don't give a fuck what you represent. They don't care if you are representing their party, they're gonna vote for their party. And so we vote for, because Democrats are the human party, and every human being has different desires, needs, and wants.
Are they really a human party? I mean, they've been around and they got us nowhere.
I said,
Okay.
okay.
I ain't
So-
see that.
Well, okay, let me put it on there. But I'm just saying because when we talk about fairness and equality, there are people who think about all kinds of people, all groups, Black, white, Latinx. There are people who don't like Latinx. They want to be Latino or Latino. There are people who don't support LGBTQIA community and initiatives. There are people who don't support, pro-life, pro-choice, all kinds of things. And for some reason, we can't seem to support the big picture if you don't support everything that I support, or you don't support everything I believe in. When you have that one off, like I can't mess with you.
Right. That's the nitpick. We talked about that on the last podcast where it was just like if you can't pick one thing in unison to fight for, then we are just fighting in the same direction to argue later.
So, yes, and here's something that's funny. I said this on my show, on my podcast, and they looked at me funny when I said this. I don't. The violence of racism, prejudice, that I don't get with that. However, the standing together of us succeeding, I love that shit.
Right.
I love when people are able to come together and fight for what they want. If that comes to being called racism, which it is, I like that. I would love for our people to be like that.
What if my fight for what I want steps on the toes of what you want?
Me as a person, it is a problem. It is wrong. But how can I, if we're coming together? Like I said, I don't agree with the whole totality and violence and all that. Somebody has to be up. Somebody has to be down. I do understand that. That's the way the world is going to work. That's the way it has to work. But I'm cool with it because that's how the world is going to turn. So it happens. There's things that even in family, there are things that we won't agree with that has to be done for the family to succeed.
Right.
So it's things like that. So if you just have to step on the things that I want, so be it. Unfortunately, it comes in right now. The other side has more than us, and they're able to dictate what we do and what we don't do. So yeah, I want my people to be up. I do want my people to be up at all costs, at any cost. I'm going to fight for that. I'm going to believe towards that. That's just how it is for me. And I do understand that when they got power, it's like sports. If my team is beating the shit out of your team, I have no problem with it. If your team is beating my team, then I have a problem with it. And that's where I'm at right now. Right. So it's like sports. Somebody has to win. Unfortunately, we're not winning right now. And you
said it's a top and a bottom.
It's good.
But see, I agree that there should be a top and a bottom. But the problem is there needs to be a middle. There is no middle. The middle is what rocks the boat. If it's too many people, if it's a bunch of people at the top, or if it's just a couple people at the top, which is how it is now, and it's a bunch of people at the bottom, there is no middle. That's a problem. It's if you use sports wise, if the team is running a dynasty and everybody, if we use basketball, the East Coast up. Everybody on the Eastern Conference in basketball is trash compared to the West.
Disagree.
I mean,
I disagree.
But it's a fact. It is what it is. And it makes the game less interesting. So the problem is, if there's a few people there in the bottom and there's no middle, the people at the bottom, they're gonna try to take out the people at the top, just so they can get to the middle. They don't necessarily have to get to the top. They just want to be in a better situation than what they are. Like the middle is what rocks it. That's what makes. If you consider this democracy to be what it is, the middle is what keeps it what it is. There's no checks and balances with no middle. If I'm at the top, I got all the money and all the power, and I'm at the bottom and I don't have no money, and every time I try to make a decision, you find a way to chop the head off me so I can't help make a decision, and you're controlling everything, it's going to end ugly.
I agree with that. And this is the problem with that to me?
Turned the wrong way. There you turned that.
Oh, my bad. This is the problem with that to me. I can if I want to live, if I want to live in your system, you dictate how I live. You dictate how I live. Fuck living in your system. Create your own system. There's a Koreatown, there's a Chinatown, there's a Jewtown, there's all these other towns. There was a black town, Black Wall Street. Yep. There was a black town.
You know, Black Wall Street was basically every infrastructure of black people getting it though. That's what they call it. Yeah. So Atlanta is technically the last Black Wall Street. But in existence. I know,
but we had our own. We succeeded on our own. We're asking for equality, fairness, all this other stuff, and somebody else's system that don't like us.
Let me ask this
so why
question.
Are we trying to get in the middle
about Koreatown and Chinatown and all of that stuff? Is it just the community that they all live in? Because when I look at it from the outside in, it don't seem real prosperous. It don't really seem like they making a whole lot of money. They just keeping the money in their own that they do have in their own community and taking care of their own people. That's not a threat
to you.
Well, I'm saying from the outside looking in. That's why I asked the question: are they financially prosperous, where them having their own city is a threat to the majority system? Because the Black Wall Street was a threat to the majority system. Does that make sense?
It makes. Yes, it does.
Yeah, but I think black people flaunt their wealth.
That's what I was getting to.
And other cultures don't.
Okay.
That's what I said to you. Though. You're looking for gold everywhere. I'm just saying that. You're looking for gold everywhere. No, I don't live like that. I don't live like that. So why are you expecting me to live out your fantasy?
Well, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying like Chinatown, in and of itself, by itself. Is there the ability, is there the threat of it expanding and overtaking more than just their area? Because if we keep y'all contained in this little, 4 blocks,
they're not getting that money though. I think that's the problem.
So that's what I'm saying. When we
leaving that circle. It's not leaving that circle.
Yeah, but it doesn't interrupt the system that he's talking about.
True, but at the same time is they don't know what's going on in that circle. So they don't know who is wealthy in that circle. You know what I'm saying? They have to come in and find out because it's in this circle right here. So you have no idea who the wealthy is because if we're speaking Asian people don't flaunt their wealth like that.
But I'm just saying, so the goal is to create your own system inside the system, because you just told me the system is not designed for it, so you have to create your own system within the system, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to spark a change inside the system, you have to become a part of the system. So it's like you can throw what I said to the side and disregard it.
What do they do with the system? The Asians don't even vote.
But what about this? Okay, so let's talk about this.
They do though. They vote on what sparks their interest. People cater and pander to them the same way.
But the majority don't vote.
They use their money.
But okay, so here's my question. We create our own system, right? We create our own system, our own banks, our own doctors, our own teachers, our own all of that stuff, right? We got our HBCUs. That's where we send our kids.
We don't have HBCUs.
I'm just saying. I'm envisioning what our system looks like, right?
Okay.
And let's just say the location of every HBCU is the center of it, because that's where our education is at. Let's say, where are our doctors getting educated at the HBCUs only? Yeah. To come back, our teachers are only going to the HBCUs and coming back. I'm. Don't look at me.
No,
it's the same. I put it like
I'm just asking.
It would be close to the same situation that the Hasidic Jews have in New York.
That's what I wanted to get to.
Where they have they own, they got their police, they got their that's true. That's true. But it's still their system. But at the end of the day.
But they have infiltrated Hollywood, right? So let's just talk about the Jews.
But that's what I'm saying. Like their small system, it impacts the system.
And nobody stopped them because at the bottom line they are what?
Right. Okay. And it's true. So that's why I was like, in order for this to happen.
I'm trying to figure out how to say it right.
you have to shape the system because you're here with it. Unless you plan on leaving, you have to change it.
Okay, so you said leave. You don't have to leave. Now, getting back to what you said earlier in the money of these certain towns we're talking about, they might be here getting the money up under the system. However, they're sending that money, some of the money they get, somewhere else. So if I can do that and make sure that whatever I have over here, it's a lot of Africans. It's a lot of Africans that do that here. They get the money here.
But we ain't got no home, baby. Where we sending it to? Our home is here within their walls.
That speaks to another thing. That's why they don't attack those.
Smitty in the building.
What's going on, man? That's why they don't attack those towns.
Right.
Because they have the backing of another nation.
We ain't got no home. So what will they do? They will bomb us with military. With the military, like they did before when they saw these niggas is getting out of control. Oh, these niggas is actually about to do something. And what did they do? They used their system that we are forced to live in because we are so far removed from any other home. Mm-hmm. These neighborhoods you're talking about, these people a lot of them don't even bother to learn the language of the land.
But they don't have to.
Right. We are forced to live in this system because we are so far removed from having a home in any other system.
We wait for you to report.
Yes. Let me see. I honestly don't think we're forced to live in this system. I think we just do it because that's all. This is really all we know. If we're able to just be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to figure out a way how to do it myself. Then back to us retiring. We're retiring, and we're figuring out how to do it ourselves. We're not worried about waking up. We're going to figure out how to do this shit ourselves. That's what all these other towns are doing. Right. That's what they did. They didn't know when they came over. They probably didn't know. I'm not going to say they didn't know. They probably didn't know they was going to have the backing of the nation when they came over there. But they figured out how to do it. We're not figuring out how to do it. We're figuring out how to live up under this system.
Okay, so what do we do with all this money that we make? Are we paying taxes? Or are we evading taxes?
Funny thing is, you learn the rules of taxes. You really ain't got to.
Okay, so
and then that's another thing.
Rules of opening your business, incorporating your business. What system are you incorporating it under?
How about this? How about there's a lot of people that have businesses that have a business and don't incorporate it under that system. So I have a business. We know a lot of people that have businesses.
Yes, and let me say this: we do in pockets. But what I would argue is that if we started to do this in large number, and we started to do this so significantly that we caught the attention of the system, all of that should be gone. You know, our ability to hide the money, our ability to hide the business, because the reason you can hide it is because you're not a threat. Your entity alone by itself is not a threat. Our community doing that together is a threat.
The reason we will get noticed is because niggas like to be clowns. Niggas like to be seen. If we just live, we all sitting there. Hey, I'm pretty sure there's a large amount of money sitting at this table. None of us is gloating about it. If we just stop wanting to be seen, then
how do you fix that?
That starts with what you said earlier. Go back to the education. Look, the dream got to be seen. Keep that. That's good.
But where that comes from, right, is a system that we grow up in that has taught us. It's number one, the outside system. But part of it started from integration, where only a percentage of you niggas is gonna make it. Only a percentage.
In their system.
Right. But you're removing like the years and years of passing that thought process down. Like, so that means that of us sitting at this table, only I can make it. So I got to take y'all out. And then once I make it, like my value is based on the money I have, the car that I have, the girl that I have, all of that. That's where I place my value system. Why? Because the system told me a certain thing, and then my own people showed me like, this is what we flashy. We finna be flashy. You think we created that system? No, we were taught to do that. like with drug dealers, with entertainers, with all this cooning going on TV, we are taught that we are like that shit is poured into our brain, and our kids, especially now with social media, our kids eat that shit up. People going and always want to be flashy on social media. That wasn't something we created. That was something we allowed ourselves to fall into.
I agree with that.
I know that I don't know, I might take this off a little bit, but just based on all the conversations I've had lately, how I felt when I started having this conversation, as far as in like, this place is not for us. And now I'm starting to, when I look at the broader scope, like, even if I say that, you know, I'm going back to Africa, but at the end of the day, we built this country. So when I really sit down and think about it, my scope started to change, and it's more like, this is mine. This America is mine. Fact. Just like it is anybody else's that was here.
Fact.
And we could talk about the system and try to work outside of it, but fuck that. This shit is mine just as much as it's anybody else's. So why should I have to rearrange, run high? Nah, that's why people at the point they at now. Shit need to be torn down and rebuilt. Shit needs to be reorganized, and that's why we look at how this shit moving. People getting shook to the core. The motherfuckers walking around, hey, Jesus was black. We ready. We say it. We know. Hey, he ain't have blue eyes and blonde hair. It's not in the Bible. If you choose to believe that, or continue, like, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, this is as much mine as anybody else's. So the shit need to be fixed. That's why I'm like, yo, if it's a middle class to affect change, it is. Then it's a whole bunch of people sitting in office that's disconnected and they've been running in the same House and Senate for 20, 30 years with the same backward ass mindset. Like, and I'm tearing down all these symbols that people consider their symbols that don't mean shit to me. It need to be torn down.
Yeah. And
now we tearing down everything that they believe in. But shit needs to be fixed, down to the education and all of that. So even if we sit down and educate ourselves properly, I'm cool with that. Let's step aside then. Let's educate them, know the value and the worth and everything that we put into this country that is ours. It's so much shit that needs to be rearranged instead of just trying to find a niche in the system, a niche outside the system or somewhere around it. The system is fucked.
I agree.
I don't want to run away from it.
What, the system?
Yeah, just to start my own system. I want to run towards it and fuck it up so it can get fixed.
I agree with all this shit.
It's got to be broken down, man.
It's got to.
Yeah. I guess.
Now, if you're talking about creating something as far as to start an empowerment to go back into the system with more leverage than before, I can understand.
So y'all just want to. I'm asking this. Y'all just want to keep the system, but just tweak it.
I don't necessarily want to keep the system the way that it is. It's got to be
broken,
dismantled and rebuilt.
It's got to be broken.
I'm just saying, I don't believe that we can completely live 100% outside of this system in the United States. So we got to learn the system, break it down, and rebuild it the way that it needs to be and should be. And you can't do it being ignorant of the system. You can't do it from the outside. Like, you have to infiltrate it.
See, and I agree with that. But I think in order for you to infiltrate it, you have to know yourself first.
But I mean, that's a process. So you got to fix. You got to fix.
You got a whole nother topic.
Boom. Now, this is not a race system, Democratic, Republican. It's not a red, blue thing.
Right.
It's a you thing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So when you figure out who you are, then you know how you need to adjust. You know what I'm saying? So when you see the system working, when you see the system working a certain way, and it's like, okay, boom, then you got to know within yourself, either I'm gonna stand on that, or I'm gonna sit back. And then you know how to adjust because you know your goal and your purpose. So it gets to a point the system don't even motherfucking matter.
What I would say about knowing yourself, though, there are so many people that don't even, one, know where to begin. Number two, they're in survival mode.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you a question real quick to break you off. If you mind me asking, do you have a child?
I do have to.
Are you teaching them how to live within the system, or how to be? Are you teaching them? Are you teaching them how to be the typical on Instagram, on social media black person? So you're taking them away from the system.
I'm teaching them more so understand yourself. I'm gonna support you to be the best human being that you could possibly be. We're gonna look at what's going on in the world. We're gonna have conversations about it. Young black man, my son is 15 years old. Young black man, let's talk about this. Let's talk about what it looks like, what being a black man in this system looks like. Even my daughter, she started out didn't want to have nothing to do with it at HBCU. Nothing, because we were in Gwinnett County and she was doing competitive gymnastics and going to bat mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs and stuff like that. And she didn't understand that. I brought her to Westlake. She's at FAMU right now because she understands her blackness as a woman and she actually wants to invest in that system of blackness and to be proud of who she is and be educated. You know what I'm saying? So we're not talking about the system. We're talking about there's some things you can control and there's some things you can't control. Let's look at the way that what's happening. Know yourself, know your passions, know your beliefs, be strong in it, be able to defend your beliefs, and then figure out what's the best move based on what you can control and what you can't control.
That's what I want to get to. Us as black people, we're always trying to control the shit we can't control.
Right.
We can control our blackness. Now, within this system that we're trying to live in, we ain't gonna be able to shine, make our blackness shine. So, you teaching your daughter, your son, about being a true black person, a true melanated person, is taking them away from the system and allowing them to get to understand themselves. So that's what my thing is. We can start by teaching our next generation. We have the ability, us. I'm gonna say the 80s kids, and maybe a couple 90s. So the 80s children, we have the ability of living with and without the internet.
Right.
We got that, and some of the Arab people before us. So we have a knowledge of knowing to live with and without life, period. So when we teach them how to live without this system and be somebody true, then I think that's where we start making a change and creating and being able to create our own. Because we can live here and not be part of what the fuck these people got going on.
Right.
We can't do that. The problem is we're consistently trying to come into their home and tell them the rules of their shit. Yeah, it's ours. But I don't want to say they paid us to build it, but no, they did.
Right.
No. But they brought us in to build their shit and told us you don't have no rules here. You don't have no say. Now we consistently trying to live in their house up under their rules and tell them, look, hey man, be cool. Just help me out. I come to your house. I'm living in your basement. Help me out. No, man, this is my house. Why am I gonna help you out? If you rent a house to somebody, if you let somebody rent a room in your house, they have to live up under your rules.
Right.
Why are we trying to tell them to change the rules of their house?
Well, I will say this question: do you believe in voting?
Yes and no.
Hard today, boy.
Yes, the reason I say yes and no is because I believe in voting on the lower level.
Right.
That shit, that higher up shit, I know it.
That ain't got shit to do with it.
That ain't got nothing to do with me.
So
nothing to do with me.
What I will say, I agree with you, and I don't agree with you. I do believe okay, my bad.
I want to finish.
Go ahead.
Now, here's another catch. And I kind of am against voting on the lower level. The reason being is because I'm gonna give you the same example I gave on my show. Mike's running.
Okay.
Me and Mike cool.
Okay.
Mike tells me what he wants to do, this and that. I'm like, shit, I'm with Mike, so I'm gonna vote for Mike. I vote for Mike. Guess what? Mike got bills he got to pay. Do Walmart. Walmart wants that land over there. Mm-hmm. That's part of Mike's area. Mm-hmm. Mike got bills to pay. Mm-hmm. Walmart gives Mike $1 million. With that $1 million, here's some rules I need you to put in place too. Cut me off. He just completely cut me the fuck off. Black people don't understand it's more than just a vote. It's a fucking check. So you have to give that check along with your vote.
Well, I agree with you. But I also think that the reason why this shit is so out of control and has gone unchecked is because there's so many people who have backed out and don't vote. And so the people who do pander to this group of folks and who take ridiculous money from PACs with initiatives, from donors with initiatives. There's even rules to how much money you can take from people, like to protect that. But because those people who are our elected officials have run unchecked for so long, that's why this shit looks the way that it does. That's why gerrymandering exists. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to take time because we have allowed, partially they've taken it, and partially once we were allowed to have a say in it, we decided not to have a say in it for so long that the system, even the political system, needs to be corrected. Now, typically the federal government, the president, does not have a lot of impact on your day-to-day life. But this motherfucker in office right now has shown you that just everybody before kind of played the game the way they were supposed to play. This motherfucker will write an executive order in a heartbeat because he mad about something because he having a fucking tantrum. And you actually see how, like...
So you got a problem with that?
Him writing an executive order because he had a tantrum?
Let me ask you a question.
Playing the game, though.
Thank you. If you're in a position of power, because you got some shit you want to get out,
the executive order only gonna last so long.
You're not gonna get it out.
So let me say this.
You're not gonna be selfish.
Well, because
the executive order only lasts so long.
Me as a human,
Exactly.
Me as a human being, no, I don't operate like that.
Just as much as you're mad at him for doing shit like that, you should be mad at the motherfucker before him that didn't do shit like that. You want to know what
would have happened to the motherfucker before him? His ass would have been impeached.
If you really believe about the people that look just like you,
executive order,
if you believe about the people who look like you, fuck everything.
We had that same conversation.
He would have been impeached.
If you believe about that,
you know what? But that's the thing. He never tried it. And even if he played the game the first time around, and I pissed somebody off when I said this, but that second time,
he should have let his buttons
out.
However,
you should have been teabagging there.
What you gonna do?
Y'all know.
I got 2 years left.
The fact that we have a damn reality TV star who filed bankruptcy 3 times,
7,
or however many times, 7 times,
7
times, and people are actually holding him up as a good businessman. This motherfucker whose wife used to
his
current wife, fucking
excellent businessman.
But he actually
So what I'm saying is,
you know why?
The fact that he was elected as president shows the white privilege.
Boom.
And
this is where
like,
you're lost.
period.
This is where you're lost. You're looking at this place as, I guess, a country. This is a fucking business. The government system is a business.
I get it.
Absolutely. You take this. You take the worst piece of shit I can find to replace the person who just left, and everything that's happening now is going to make this whole business go bankrupt. So who's the face of bankruptcy?
The next person.
No, he is. He's bankrupting the whole system now.
So let me say this, because my second part, right? But he was. But what Obama left him, he took credit for the first 2 years.
Right.
And he was just the beneficiary of the systems that Obama put in place. And white folks allowed him to take credit for that. Why? Because they also made Obama take responsibility for what the system was when he took in office for the first 2 years. But that's not what I'm talking about. I know too many people. I know too many local offices. So back to what you said, I believe in that the local elections have a lot more impact on your life, on your day-to-day life than the presidency. I do think this motherfucker is proving differently with all his executive orders and his tantrums and all of that shit that actually trickles down. It's so significant and it trickles down. But I agree with that, but I know so many people now in public office who are there to do good, right? And they are. And if we get enough people who are actually there to do good, then we can start to dismantle this, the lobbying, even the financial way that it is supported. If you have enough people in there trying to do good, now it's going to take some time and it's going to take belief. You can't dismantle a system that's been here for decades and decades and say that it better be fixed in 2 years or else I don't believe in this shit no more.
But that's the issue.
But I'm saying.
I think that's where the disconnect lies. Because when you talk about a system, it's designed for you to do the same thing over and over again. Mm-hmm. So as much positive intent you would put with it, it is designed for you to triple cross.
I think that it comes with education, like that. All the stuff we might joke about when they voted out, all that stuff that people kept saying, you need to vote, you need to vote, you need to vote, and then everybody else that was like under the curtain saying, hey man, even if you don't like what's going on, you still need to vote locally. That's where these changes was coming into play. That's why the people are sitting where they're sitting now. So it's not gonna happen like quickly,
right?
But the system itself, if the system worked the way it's supposed to work or actually works, then you won't need to fix it. You just need to make adjustments.
But like
this is so broken and it's been going on for so long.
So check this
that
out.
major things need to be adjusted.
With education, before you say that, right? With education, right? The way that the public school system is based off of your taxes.
okay,
So
Shouldn't be that way.
it shouldn't.
why you don't file taxes?
But this shit, let's peep this out though. You stay in Georgia, stay in Atlanta. The people who stay in Buckhead pay a higher tax on their houses. They have a nice percentage that goes from those taxes to their public school system. Whereas those who don't stay in that neighborhood pay a lower fee. So the money they're getting is not the same because they're not paying the same amount of money. They're not paying the same property tax. So are y'all willing to go up on y'all property tax to get that bump up in your education system?
I think it's more than that.
No. This is real, bro.
No,
it's real, but let me, as the person who's been in education for 17 years, let me speak on that. And I've been in Gwinnett County, I've been in APS, Gwinnett County, and Fulton County schools. For all the issues Gwinnett County has, they were, when it came to the money that was allocated from the district that they put into their local schools, they did it fairly. It didn't matter if the school was Meadow Creek, which is 80% Black and Hispanic, or the school was Peachtree Ridge, that was, right. It didn't matter what the school was, because I worked at Norcross and I worked at Shiloh. And when it came to investing in the technology, investing in the facilities, all of that, they were fair. Now, the local community...
That's their superintendent.
Right. The local community might have put some more money where their mouth is to get more stuff. So when I was at Norcross, the reason why Norcross had that big replay screen on the football field, the Jumbotron, it's because the community put their money where their mouth was above and beyond their taxes. Hold up. Now let me talk about Fulton County, because I work in South Fulton. And we have buildings that look like jails. Yeah. But then when they went and renovated Riverwood, the classrooms don't even have walls on them. They got glass walls so that the kids don't feel like they're in cages. They got money. No, but it was funded by the district. But so what I'm saying is
Jewish though.
But it doesn't. Cambridge was built differently. These schools were built differently, but you had a certain footprint that you wanted Langston and Banneker and Westlake to have.
Hold on before you do that.
So it wasn't fair.
But that breaks down to the people who write these emails and get on TV who are proactive about the children's education. And in that particular community you're talking about, Acres Mill area, full of wealth, don't want that shit over here. And those parents spoke out about it. Whereas over here, they just go ahead and goddamn oblige to it.
Right.
That's what you gonna do. That's
But
what
I
it
don't
is.
even.
Instead
But
of
you want to
so
know what the
your-
Westlake parents? I will say this.
That's
The
because the
Westlake,
Westlake
but
parents
we still
got money.
don't do shit.
So this is
The
the
Westlake parents
But
got
we
money.
still don't do shit when it comes to the district
I
and putting our foot on the throat of the district. We still don't do that. How about why are we the only non-Title I school? Norcross, being where it is, was the first school in Gwinnett County to be Title I. Because the white folks don't care why we get this motherfucking money. They talking about this is extra money that we are entitled to. Let's play the game. Let's play the number game. I don't care if you label our school Title I. Westlake, every school that feeds into Westlake is Title I, but Westlake is not. Okay, fine. They say years ago the community didn't want that label. All right, well, put your fucking your checkbook where your mouth is. If you want us to protect your property values or whatever, where's the fundraisers? Where's the foundation? Where's the extra donation of money? Nah, you just want us to go above and beyond and give you all the extra shit without having the funds that we're entitled to.
what I said earlier about voting. You have to put that checkbook. I agree with everything you're saying. You have to put that checkbook with that vote, or else somebody else is gonna come in and change Mike's mind.
It's a
You gotta do that. You have to put that check. And we are so focused on vote. That shit don't do nothing.
Nah, you
but
gotta be
goddamn make
accountable.
that motherfucker on.
You finna take this office.
That's it.
You gotta be
Paperwork.
accountable. Yeah.
It's paperwork, man.
That's all
And
it is.
paperwork is designed for you. It's a written statement that you finna do this shit. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And
Because at the end of the day, that's what the Braves love.
You know what, motherfucker.
Y'all said y'all
got
was
more
gonna
power
do
than
this.
South Florida than we do.
Y'all
Right
ain't
here
do
with
it.
voting. Motherfucking Arkansas, they don't even live here, got more power than we do. And
who
we
is this
vote
person?
all
Who
the
is this
time.
person? Because I'm about to go. Who is this person? Go ahead.
Walmart.
all right. This is simple. We talked about education. How you gonna learn how to fill out your taxes in elementary?
That's different.
Hey,
But
that's a whole
see,
side.
but this a whole different.
Nah,
Well,
way.
how about this?
Right.
Because I'm telling you, no, he's not right. Hold up. Pause. Because you want to know what? Because people expect the school to do the shit your family should be fucking doing.
So
It is not our
I love
job to
homeschool.
teach every fucking thing that a child may ever need in life in school.
Well, take
That's not our job.
He said, hold on.
It's not even that though. Like,
Because there used to be a time where
the system is broke.
that makes sense.
Or yet,
But when I take a class called economics, or statistics, I forget the name of that class,
economics.
where they teach you about money and how to.
Now there is a financial literacy class,
But it should be.
but everybody
I'm not-
doesn't
that's what I'm
take
saying.
it.
But okay, well, beyond all that, everything that y'all just said, like, so what about the testing between like
Third
the
grade.
elementary schools to
You
figure
wanna
out
know
who the hell going to jail and shit? Like, what's up with
Well,
that?
that's not testing. This is
Well,
it. This
I'm
is
asking.
no. That's what I'm gonna tell you. So literacy is a big deal. If you cannot read by the third grade, statistics show you that you are going to be behind. People don't understand why. Why? Because up until the third grade, you learn to read. After the third grade, you read to learn. So up in from K through 3, if you are struggling reading, your only one subject is being affected. But after that, your inability to read affects math, it affects science, it affects language arts, because now they are expecting you to know how to read and comprehend this information and then to be successful. So if you're behind in the third grade, that's why that statistic exists, because you are now it's going to now be an exponential
So is that a
thing.
myth? Is that a myth?
No. I'm saying I'm saying that's why it exists, because what happens is if you are significantly behind in the third grade with your ability to read, once you go into the fourth grade, it now impacts every fucking subject because you can't even comprehend what you're trying to learn.
What does the jail have to do with that?
So that basically the likelihood of you dropping out is higher. The likelihood of you being held back is higher because you are going to be exponentially
That's what I'm
behind
saying. So
in
you
education.
take the money from that and you create.
It's a fact.
Oh, no, wait.
Oh.
So you take the money from that. Well, you take that, the numbers from that, and then you create. Okay, we're gonna allocate this amount of money for jails and prisons from these numbers from these kids.
Jails are a private entity.
But I'm just saying though, they still allocate the money for it.
Entity.
Do you agree with that testing? Do you agree with that?
What?
Everything you just broke down. How you just broke it down.
I believe you can catch up. I do believe there is a point at which you can catch up. But for a fact, if you are having reading comprehension issues, it is going to affect all your other subjects.
Let me ask you this question.
Even with like overcrowded in classrooms and all of this stuff.
There's so
How about
saying, like,
we find out what your talent is and just make you great at that talent? If my son, he's great at.
But if you can't read.
Well, nobody talk about counting, math, everything.
Okay, so I taught math for 3 years, and I'm gonna tell you what. If you can't comprehend what's in front of you, you're not going to be able to computate. You can see numbers and all of that. That's great. Okay. But if you can't comprehend.
But okay, now this is now I got to go against the motherfucking grain.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, because this thing is about money, right?
This country
is about money, right? You're not learning about taxes, right? Number one. So that should be an elementary thing. If we
okay.
I got
Go ahead. Go get it.
Everything ends and begins with a number. We so worried about what's going on in this country. We behind in the world.
Yeah.
Why? Because these folks' other languages include characters and stuff. We are behind because we speak in one language. Everything is, we're not even in STEM, sciences, technology, engineering, black folks. We are absent in those areas. Because
all them schools now.
No, it's not. I
graduated from a college that graduates the most black engineers.
Well, I'm saying, but
shout out to Georgia Tech
and stuff like
right.
that.
I got the black techs watching right now too.
So this is my thing with that, man. It's kind of feels on what you said earlier. He missed when we get back to the system.
Right.
If I teach you how to control your money, that means I have no more power over you.
Right.
That's the number one problem. If we start holding our own money, then we are a threat to them.
Right. Yes. So they're gonna find another way. So
the thing with that is, getting back to what he's saying is, I'm not gonna teach you about the shit that can empower yourself.
Right.
For one, your history too. I'm not gonna teach you about your history. So or the money in which I control.
Right.
Because if I teach you how to control your own money, how to the financial literacy,
you don't need me.
You don't need me. I need you to need me.
Let me say this.
And I'm not changing the system for that.
And I agree with you on a lot of levels, but you brought it up when we were talking about reading comprehension. If you can't comprehend what you're reading, that legalese that's in them tax forms, you don't understand. I'm just going to change the shit up. I'm going to reword it. I'm going to make it so confusing that you cannot comprehend what I'm saying. And you don't know that you are taking on all of this liability. So it's not just about learning how to fill out a 1040 EZ form. That's easy. That is just numbers and type some stuff into the calculator. But really, that deep critical thinking, that requires a whole different form of education. So when we talk about STEM too, that is creative thinking. That is not. That's my
thing. They don't want this. They're trying to take us our natural ability from us. To stick to the textbooks. Have you ever read a textbook?
I have read some pages of it.
Thick.
Some pages.
I'm saying the book.
I know what you're talking about. My homegirl used to do textbooks.
So the books the American textbooks are thick.
Yep.
You go overseas and look at their textbooks. Basically, the shit that says nigga ain't gonna teach you.
But you want to know why?
But
you want to know why? Go back to what you said about, if you know how to do this, you will never pay taxes. Because they have to make it confusing because the top 1% got to hide their money so that they're not contributing to this system. So we've got to figure out ways to have all of these loopholes where we protect our money and we are never contributing to this system that benefits you. We're just going to make sure that we protect ourselves. So our tax laws are really confusing because they have to hide their money, write that off so that their tax liability does not increase like it should as their pay increases.
Okay.
Because if it were as straightforward as other countries, then we would be borderline the S word that they don't like.
With you knowing all that, I guess I could say you don't like that how they have the control of everything, right?
I'm not a fan of it. No, I don't like
Okay. So with that being said, just plain and simple, why are you trying to live under that system? Why are you trying to make somebody whose mind is dead set on not changing the system? Why are you trying to make them change the system?
I'm not trying to make them change the system. What I am doing is exercising the power that I do have to be an educated voter, to be an educated consumer, and to be an educated activist and control what I can control, which is why I'm voting for a particular school board member in my district, in my area, right? I don't want this person, the other person, to come in to that school board. I value this former educator and her awareness of the system, and I would like her to be the one who leads my area, because I've also seen the power that a school board member has over what actually happens in your building.
So you're trying to change the system?
I'm trying to put other players in the system. I'm trying to put more players.
Okay.
I'm trying to put more players that I align with in the system.
Okay, cool. But at the end of the day, the system that's happening right now, you're trying to put somebody that's closer to what you believe, that's more aligned to what you believe, to the seat which you feel like they should be in, so they can do something different, right?
Yes.
Trying to change the system. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, Mike?
I'm investing in what I can control right now.
You can say as many words as you want to.
Well, no. But I think you're taking it. I think you are making a gray situation black and white. You're trying to make me agree to a black and white reduction of it. So the thing is, so go back to sports.
Let's go.
We talk about the owners.
Yes.
All the owners white.
Yeah, majority of.
So so this system is the system that they want to control their white dollar. They don't fuck about you niggas at all, because that's not even my reality. Now, if we eventually get to a system where it's 50% owners of color, not just coons, okay, but actually 50% owners of color that believe in the people that they're working for, that have a genuine heart, do you not think that some shit could change? Now, if you just have one in there, no, he gonna be outvoted. He gonna be silenced. He gonna be ostracized. You just got two in there. No, it's not. But if you get to the point where it's 50% people in there who are looking out for the interests of the players and not just their bottom line in the pocketbooks, you don't think that some of this system is going to be forced to change because half of the people running it don't believe in the old system? So I am working to try to get more people, because all I can control is my power to vote and my power to empower other people to vote and to realize that you actually do have a voice, because there are elections where people win by 9 fucking votes. 9. So for you to say your one vote doesn't matter, it does matter when there's votes where 9 people is the fucking margin. If those 9 people stayed home, or 10 of those people stayed home, it would be a totally different thing. So understanding you actually do have fucking power in this system. That's part of the lie that they told you, is that, nigga, you don't have power in this system, because that keeps them in fucking power. It keeps you choosing to silence yourself. You are making a choice to be silent and be powerless, because you think that we're going to get enough motherfuckers in this country to rise up and overthrow it. Nah, you got to get more people who are in there, who are in power, that can start to make changes.
So the funny thing is, I think she heard me say I don't vote at all. I just said on the lower level I vote. I don't care about that.
But you also said lower level don't matter either.
No.
But you know, it's just a statement. It's a statement that needs to be heard.
Yeah, I like her passion. I love her passion. So, but now my thing is, so we're going to say sports. Integrate. We're trying to integrate their system. Steph Curry makes, I think this year he made $42.5 million.
Okay.
I think LeBron came in at 39.
Okay.
Step back, look at those situations. Okay. Everybody's watching this shit because of you. Okay. Detach yourself from the NBA, create a black NBA. I'm going to say that, create a black NBA. Again, we don't have to play up under them. Me being an ex-basketball player and saying this shit, I now see that I ain't got to play here. I can go somewhere else. I tell everybody all the time, the NBA is not the only league. There's no problem moving and creating your own shit.
Hey, man, I love this conversation. Y'all know we got to move on.
Yeah.
I don't let y'all hear this shit
I like
for
your
about an
fashion.
hour.
I like your fashion.
Yeah. But you know,
I'm sorry.
in this climate when you're in 45 is in office, we got to move different. You know, so being aware of what's going on outside, man. If you don't have a gun license, you need to get a gun license. You need to be able to move accordingly, because as we see, a lot of these police are quitting their job and they're leaving the city or the county they're in and getting to another location. Mm-hmm. Basically, what they're saying is they're not going to do that over there. Mm-hmm. But they're going to do it somewhere else. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And we got to move different as a people and be aware of it. Aware of it. And we got to be teaching our children to be aware of it. Because at the end of the day, this shit has been amplified because of the television, because of social media, that you have to move. Well, I'll put it to you like this. We in this area, we in this circle are pre-Obama. So we know what it looked like before Obama. A lot of these kids are caught up because Obama was in office. And the thing about it is, that was Dr. King's dream for a black man to be a president. You know what I'm saying? To be in power. So while they're growing up, their dream has been fulfilled. So they're actually coming up and they're seeing everything can happen. Racism doesn't exist in their world like it is in ours. So this shit that's being amplified, you know, every day is something that they're not used to. But unfortunately, it's our norm. We are used to this. This is what we grew up against. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can name almost every year in the 90s, some of this shit has happened. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this ain't new to anybody 35 on above. You know what I'm saying? Who grew up. So these teenagers who are 16, who, you know, I say 13. When you're 13, you're growing. This is, everything's going on. Parents getting divorced. You know, you got so much getting shot at you when you become a teenager that they're not aware of this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? This is the environment we grew up under. So, with that being said, we have to teach all these young people who are in their 20s that this is how you need to move. Because the thing about it is, they're not aware of it. Period. They have never seen this shit before. Because of Obama. Obama's damn near 10 years. You know what I'm saying? That is a whole decade that the racism wasn't relevant as it is right now. And we are aware of it. It is like clothes. Clothes come back every 20 years of how people wore it. Racism has came back in full-fledged how it was.
Racism didn't come back.
It never left, truthfully, but you can see it. We saw it.
I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, like, I can see privilege in not knowing. Because I look at these
but
kids.
But you are from a different era, though.
But that's what I'm saying. They aware, but they moving. Like, when I went out there, there was a bunch of them they was out there. Like, man, we sat back and watched. I can say when I was 18, 19, and shit was going on, and they said they were protesting, I was like, bruh, that shit happened every day. What the fuck I'm going down there for? What I got to say? They out there moving. So it's like, as much as we got to educate them and let them know what can happen. But they taking a stand.
Facts.
And it's like, I don't want to say the way, like they moving. Well, because when you start the way it was like leaning into it, was like they don't.
No.
Yeah, it was. But it's the same thing as back in civil rights. These were teens and young college folks
Right. Exactly.
making the move.
Exactly.
movement.
Who should be?
And,
But
and
they
that's
seen
who's
it.
doing
That's
it
why I
now.
feel
They're
like
the
to a
ones
certain.
they're the ones that's coming up next, and that's why getting back to when I asked you about your children, like teach them. The reason I'm deciding to retire is because one thing is, how can I tell my son to be independent of the system, but I'm consistently begging the system to let me live. So in order for me to feel true and honest to my son, after myself, I have to create this way of I'm not living in the system anymore.
Right.
So that's why I asked you that. I have to change. I have to show my son the person that I'm telling him to be.
Absolutely.
And that's really what it is.
Now let me ask you this, because this frustrates me at work all the time. Not saying this is what you do, but there's a lot of parents out here who are teaching their kids to be entrepreneurs, right?
Uh-huh.
So when we have this conversation with them, like, hey, what do you want to do? And these might be the people who we know don't have no chance of college, which is okay, because college ain't for everybody.
All right. Trump just proved that.
But college ain't for everybody.
He just
So,
proved that.
but what I'm saying is, I ask them, you want to be an entrepreneur? What you want to do? I don't know. I just don't want to work for nobody. Nigga, you got to do more than that. So if we just telling our kids not to be dependent on the system, but we don't give them the fucking tools to figure out how are you going to not be dependent on the system, we just setting them up to
Go out there and be lost.
to go out there and be lost and be the motherfuckers kicking in doors because you feel hopeless and you feel like I can't be a part of this system. I'm not smart enough to go to college, but I don't know nothing
What to do.
else.
Oh, yeah.
So
Me.
we gotta do both.
Nah,
Me.
I'm
Me. Yeah. Oh, me. So just like here, my stuff is out of my house. So my son sees it. He sees me do it. He asks me about it. He talk about it. So I asked him, well, okay, he's 9, so he's interested in a lot of things. But the main thing he's interested in is holding that phone in his hand. So I'm teaching him how to do stuff through the phone in his hand. So I agree with you, all that shit. We do tell them to be entrepreneurs and don't tell them what else. That's why earlier when I asked you or said the comment of, why not find out what that talent is? They have young engineers of Atlanta. If your child is outside building a whole shitload of Legos, that's engineering. Put his ass in robotics. And then just move like that. And getting back to parents not knowing their children, which I think we have completely fucked that shit up. Because we're constantly trying to find this job, that job, to make this money.
Because we have to, though.
And that's right, we don't have to. Stop living way above your fucking means.
Listen, I hear you, but there are
It's like
some
that. Like that's a select few you talking
No,
about.
there's a
There's
select.
a lot of niggas that live way above
It
their
ain't
means.
a
Yeah, but you
select.
can't
Not to-
encompass
Hey,
everybody.
select means
Yes, you can.
small.
Not
You
to,
can't. You call
Yes,
out who
right.
needs to be called back. It's
Okay.
motherfuckers out there.
But it ain't a select.
not,
It's a lot.
okay, so
It's a lot.
how many goddamn devices do you need?
What you mean?
And I'm gonna say this because I just saw it on my corner of my eye, and I'm not really pointing at you.
Remember, no, I got you. Yeah, I got an Apple Watch. I got a MacBook Pro at home.
No.
I got an iPhone.
No.
Hey, man.
You have a smartwatch.
Yes.
You have your phone sitting right in front of you.
Yes.
If a text message comes through, there should be no problem with you picking this up.
Right.
So that's my thing. I thought about getting a smartwatch, but then I was like, you know what? First of all, I like the power of telling nigga, hey, have my phone on.
Right.
So
Right.
so when it comes to doing that shit is a little bit too much. That's extra.
For you, I use it, so like you said, encompassing everybody. I use it for my workouts. I use it for my calories. I use it for when I go running, not to have this on my arm or have a pocket. I actually pay the extra $10 for this to have service on it, so I could go out with my AirPods, which another gadget that I have at home, to go run and listen to my music and to keep my calories and all that. That's what I did. But my daughter, for example, she has a job, but she's saving for a car. Her phone, she dropped it in water. This chick wants to go out and spend $700 to upgrade her phone because her phone is 3 years old. I said, but your insurance is $150 to replace this phone. Why you gonna go out and get it? Because what you have is an 8. It's an 8 Pro,
That's
right?
It works.
That's just
As long as it works.
Right. But no, now it doesn't work. But you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to my dog Ralph. Ralph say you can show your son without being what you want him to be.
Hey man, me and Ralph had this conversation.
Just like, let me read this, man. Just like he was taught to be better than other parents, not having a smartwatch think it is a great device to be in hands free. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, I like what you said about go ahead and you're encompassing everybody, because this is a debate that I've gotten into with a lot of people on social media about what we're doing for schools. And everybody is all up in arms that Fulton County is opening back face to face, and they're giving you the option for virtual, but you don't have all the academic options available for virtual. And my thing is, you are looking at your middle class privilege of having high speed internet, of having a device, of being able to work from home. Do you know there are people who don't have that privilege, who are frontline workers, who have young children, that whether it's right or not, the school system is as much an education service as it is a babysitting service for them. And so for you to say, oh, we just need to go all virtual, this don't make no sense. It's because you are looking from the lens of your middle class privilege.
Or the kids that just go to school just to eat.
Or the kids that go to school just to eat. There are so many kids that only get the meals that we serve them. And so it is not an easy answer. Like, I would hate to be a superintendent right now because all your answers are wrong. Either the teachers are going to be mad at you, the parents are going to be mad at you, or the kids are going to be mad at you. But you can't lump everything into your specific lens. Our lenses were created from the life that we grew up with, from the emotions that we have inside of us.
Ralph, stop co-signing, nigga.
To what thank you, Ralph. To what it is that you're experiencing right now. And we can't judge everybody else's perspective off of our personal lens.
So, on both sides. It's on both sides. Y'all both saying the same thing.
I can't. Hold on, wait. This is gonna sound very arrogant, stupid as fuck. Why can't I judge your shit from my shit?
First of all, don't judge me, motherfucker.
Why not?
That's number one.
Why not?
First of all, because it ain't your motherfucking place.
I like that. First of all, I'm not saying that.
You can have an assessment. You can have an opinion
I do
on
what the
it.
fuck I want to do.
But don't put your shit on me.
Why not?
Because
No. Come on. I like it.
Because it's not when it's all said and done, it's not our place. And I think that's what we were talking about before we started this. Yep. It's not my place to put my shit on you. That's where empathy comes into play. Motherfuckers don't have no fucking empathy. They don't understand the shit. You don't even want to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and see what it might potentially feel like to be something other than what your reality is. And that's why everybody wants everybody else to do what they think is right.
Guess what? Here's the funny thing. If I don't judge you and piss you the fuck off, we don't have this conversation.
Shitting me. I can have this conversation.
Yes, you again. There you go. Now you're putting yourself.
You just said we don't have this conversation. No, we do.
Yes, we do, because we have the ability of just sitting down and talking and understanding that we can see abroad.
Right.
The people who judge don't until they actually sit down and tell the person that's sitting across from them that they're judging that, hey, what the fuck are you talking about? And then that person says, hey, look, this is what's going on. That's where the conversation comes in.
Honestly, the people that judge don't give a shit until it impacts them. So the people that have the inability to have this educated conversation, like, no, seriously, the people that can sit down and have this educated conversation are not the motherfuckers
that need to have the conversation.
Exactly.
Or they can't verbalize it. So by y'all having this conversation, either somebody who can't empathize might have seen it and be like, oh shit, I never thought about that way. That's the purpose of having these conversations on these platforms, is that just by chance, one motherfucker might catch something. And then, hey, they might learn something and we progress from it.
All right, man. Fuck this shit.
How do we even get to this going?
Hey, man. It's a lot of shit going on. So, like, this wasn't on the playing field, the thought process, but COVID is spiking.
Y'all don't even hear it. Y'all stay out here for that conversation. Y'all had it.
In reality,
I got one big theory for all of it.
Hey, I don't give a fuck. Either way it going with.
No, I mean it's
and the reason why I brought it up because Smitty out and the goddamn he outside, goddamn. But see the thing,
I've been outside.
nah, nigga, fuck that. Smitty outside.
I just can't.
And see, I know, and thing about it, I know about Smitty is, I know he in the DJ booth though. So his interaction is totally different than somebody else's
Still
interaction.
isolated.
He is still. The 18 who is speaking. I literally just spoke this to the 18 who was speaking, and it was like, Schmitty outside every day. I follow his social media. Plus, we communicate, we conversate. It's like his interaction is different because he's isolated, and they don't let nobody in the DJ booth. Never have, unless they know you. That's just how the DJ booth works. So, seeing how is it outside for real now with this shit going on, bro? Because we gotta switch it up because he's outside and he looking.
I passed through Edgewood last night.
But see,
that shit was lit.
That's what I'm saying. It's a little. It's different. Like the city is different. It's really it's different. But like Edgewood, see, Edgewood is different because that ain't Edgewood. That shit that going on, that's New Atlanta. That ain't Atlanta. Atlanta is always
Atlanta
been
now.
right.
You
Now,
try to twist it anyway, but it is now. It's been a good two. It's been a good 2 months of Edgewood looking the exact same.
But old Nat been bumping every night, and we ain't none of that going on. That's a fact. That's
Ain't
on.
never been.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Edgewood is I'm outside. Walking.
But Edgewood is like that now because that's where the gentrification is happening. Where all the folks buying Airbnbs in Auburn Glen is now 780. So these folks come from everywhere else in the Edgewood.
Of course.
That's what's going on. The Nat ain't like that. West Side ain't like that. They trying to do Bankhead, but you see what's going on. That's it. So but it goes.
That was only 2 weekends though,
see,
bro. Because I'm from the West though, bro. I can let you know.
But it happened though.
You had Going Home Day, and that's one weekend, and then you have Bankhead.
They still happen.
But it's something that happens.
And y'all want to talk about
listen to me. It's
because of Kemp. And y'all just
no. I'm gonna
tell you why.
Stop. This shit happens every year on OT.
You can say that. I'm telling you.
It happens every year.
That is awesome.
I'm from there.
The nigga opened the city up on the 16th.
It don't fucking matter.
Every
stop.
Was here.
Stop.
Was here.
Because I'm
here
from
was open.
It don't matter.
I'm not talking about the people that's here. We talking about everybody.
Let me tell you
here.
I'm gonna repeat this to you.
Okay.
What happened on the West Side was gonna happen regardless if it was open or not. I'm from that neighborhood. Them niggas don't give a fuck about authority, bro. You ain't coming through that. That street is shit. No, we gonna shut this street down, and it's gonna be.
Understand what you say?
So that shit was
COVID spiking.
I do understand.
Okay,
but my point
is the reason why.
The
other half of the reason why is that they just started testing. These numbers are going to continue to go up because when this shit,
my whole point is
when people wasn't getting tested, they was telling you, hey, go home for 14 days.
It was people dying without a test.
You wasn't getting tested. They was sending your ass home.
Okay.
So now all these numbers coming in and people scared. They want to blame protesting this and that. Wait till the rest of the numbers catch up.
But Dick,
I know it's real. I got
this my whole take on it. I've been outside every day. And Delta had me outside. Boom. Keep it like that.
No shit.
Straight up, nigga. There ain't no cap. I'm going to work. So I'm outside.
Yeah. We essential.
Essential, right? I'm essential. Boom. So anyway, if you look at what Kim did, you talking about Kim opening up show. You can't be mad and pick your poison because you can't be mad at the protest when they killed George Floyd. See, then everybody was outside. Nigga was still outside. They was still doing what they were doing.
That's when they went outside for real.
So you can't be mad. I'm not saying anybody here, but you can't be mad at the folks that's outside doing what they're doing anyway. But in real life, not just for the protests.
Right.
I'll just say, I have a girlfriend. She lives in Virginia, and she is super scared of all of this stuff, right? Like she had a breakdown the other day because she went to the gas station and touched the pump and forgot to sanitize her hand before she rubbed her eye, right? And she was on the way to her friend's house and had a breakdown at the friend's house because a friend had her elderly parents there. She's like, oh my God, I have it. But then on the flip side, this can't be our life forever. And so
You have to find a way to.
we've got to find a way to figure this out. And even if we are quarantining and social distancing, what's the goal? Because even once they find a vaccine, niggas ain't finna let you stick us with no needle.
Well, it's like
and put some shit up in us.
I really just hope I really just hope it's something, because at the end of the day, you go get tested, they say you don't have it.
You can get exposed that afternoon.
Exactly.
The minute you walk out.
As soon as you walk out.
One of the workers could have exposed your ass.
Right, this is a living table. You can leave everything.
And in Brazil, majority of the people who have gotten it are the people who actually work at the hospital, are the nurses. So the nurses are the ones who have been dying in Brazil, who they've been building all these whatchamacallit, you know what I'm saying, putting in these graves. So that's who's been dying. I just sat there and watched ABC early this morning. Like, majority of all these people who they done buried are the nurses.
What we're doing is not a long-term solution. And when we should have completely, totally shut down and shut in was in March.
It's not possible if
no,
it's
but I
ever
know,
going on.
I get it. But when this would have helped is before it got to this point, right? But now people are hurting financially, they hurting mentally, and the economy itself is hurting. So we can't continue to say.
So what is that a failure on?
It's a failure on leadership.
No, it's a failure on the whole fucking system, not
Yeah.
just.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you look at it,
You guys sit there talking about this shit. I'm like, it's not really about that
But
shit.
if you look
This
at
is
the
just
whole
an
different thing.
but this is just an indication of why things need to change.
right.
Like even if you weren't like in the minority or the people going through the struggle in general, if you was sitting at home in the 1% and the comfortable couch and you watch, just fuck everything up.
Where did the people who did, and like I know people who were safe, got it, who were safe, safer than majority, the people who wipe shit down before they bring it into their house, the people that take their clothes off in the garage before they walk into the house. Like I know some of them people who ended up getting it. So this is not a long-term solution. Neither is virtual learning for the kids. Neither, like all this unemployment, y'all being, given options from your company, but your options, if you didn't have something else to go to, you couldn't take that option.
My thought process is they made it bigger than
financially, you wouldn't be able to feed your family. You know what I'm saying?
I personally feel like they made it bigger than what it really is. Because if you're saying that it is airborne, regardless if you got a mask on or not, you're probably going to get it. The thing, the numbers say 98% of the people who get it.
It's not even 98%. I did the math on the death rate and it is a 0.29% fatality rate based on the numbers right now. 0.2.
Exactly.
So 9%
fear.
Rate.
They're moving off of fear.
That's why I think it's more about a control thing. I look at it simple like this. A gas mask looks the same no matter where the fuck you go. If it's about safety, every mask will look the same. How can you just tell me put on a mask and it don't look like my mask don't look like yours? So it's not about safety, it's more about control. That's why I stand there.
And N95 masks. And the thing about N95 mask is it shoots the bad. You don't get the bad bacteria, but let's just say you sick, you projecting it out though. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it protects it this way, but it don't protect that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're not.
It's for other. The mask is for other people.
But the thing about it is, when they say go get the mask that the nurses will have, that's only good for a sterile area though. Right. So it doesn't work.
But everything they suggest now is just for you to be in short-term contact with somebody.
Exactly.
So if I go into a store, I buy something and I leave. Like I said, if you sit in a room, even with a mask on with somebody for over 10 minutes, both of your masks become irrelevant. It don't matter. It don't matter what you wrap your face with.
And the 6 feet, they got studies coming out now talking about air conditioning units.
Yeah, it just blows it around.
Yeah. So like the 6 feet.
Logically, I knew that though.
I know.
No.
I'm going outside. People should know that shit.
Oh, let's go back to the education. We talking about critical thinking skills, motherfuckers. We not learning that shit.
So like we're in Georgia. We're not on top of each other compared to being in LA or New York City,
right?
Which makes sense. So if you are one person who actually had it and you stayed in an apartment unit and you blow it out, somebody else is going to get affected by it because y'all breathing the same air.
Okay.
Here, point blank.
And
you got to tell that unit you got it. You can't be quarantined in that unit because you're going to affect somebody else.
Yeah.
Period, point blank.
I'm gonna let y'all have it. I'm tired of talking about that.
That is not. But at the end of the day, man, that is the reality we are in right now, though. Regardless.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's what I've come to say. It's just the new reality, and everybody's going off of a fear thing, and they keep pushing this fear thing to keep controlling everybody. So it's like, man, you know what? I'm gonna treat this just like me treating the system. I'm just gonna go on and do my life, live my life, let my children live their life. My wife just flew back in with my son. There was a party across the street, and the father asked me if my son could come across. I said, yeah. Now, when this happened, they panicked. So, in order for my son to be able to play with his son, which is their best friend, I said, you know what? I'm going to allow my son to play, but this is what I'm going to do first. I'm going to detox him. And I told the father, I'm going to detox him, and then I send him over. So my son still lives, and I will bend a little bit to make you feel comfortable, because at the end of the day, my son still has good play and has the interaction with humans. Mm-hmm. So that's what I don't agree with this shit. I still believe in human. I'm from the 80s. I like human interaction. All this virtual shit to me personally is bullshit.
That's a human being
need that to survive.
Like that's why they so fucked up in the head. These kids that don't socially interact, they so fucked up in the head.
Yes.
And I'm fearful. I say fearful, but I'm worried about this younger generation right now that is not getting the interaction and the socialization and the love and the everything that comes along with going to school and going.
Do y'all eat dinner together?
Me and my kids,
yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay, at least it's that.
Because if I cook, I will say this now: if one of us actually cooks a meal, yes, we sit down together. But our schedules are so crazy. You know, with teenagers, got one that's always at somebody's practice. The other one works nights. My daughter works nights at FedEx. Okay. So we're rarely.
But see, that's getting to the family structure. That's the thing. That's shit that we miss. Mm-hmm. Like, I think I told you about it. The top of the year, I set my family down. It said, look, this is how we're gonna do this. We all don't want to be working for anybody. Me personally, I don't want none of y'all niggas working for anybody. Right. So this is how we're gonna do this. The old Godfather, the movie Godfather, mm-hmm. We're gonna run this family like a business. So every quarter we sit down, we have a meeting about what you're doing. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. You say you want to do this. Well, let's keep pushing you and see where you are at this quarter. So we do that shit every. What's up, bro? We do that every quarter. Go, you can go.
I'm sorry. I'm checking myself.
I want you to get.
I'm checking myself.
So that's that's one thing that. Get back to the family structure. we have families. No, I'm not even gonna say families. People have offspring.
People share blood.
People share blood and have offspring, but don't actually treat them like family.
Yeah.
You treat your dog like family, but you're gonna treat your 8-year-old child or your 10, and that's the problem we have, especially us. I'm not saying us at the table, but us. We don't treat our family like family.
But the part of that comes from system.
What you trying to live in? You're trying to live in, right?
But I mean, I can't. With my kids, what I did when COVID happened and we were shut down, like we lost. My daughter missed half of her spring semester of freshman year at FAMU. You talk about nigga sad to come home. Like I gotta come home and I gotta stay here, and she didn't have a car. You can't go nowhere, right? So we spent a little time, like, you know, licking our wounds. Like this is fucked up. This is for the birds. But my kids are talented. And I decided to tell them, because I do a lot of work on myself, and I had to reflect and realize that the things that I do that make me the creative person I am, the talented person I am, I was not intentional.
You grew up in that hood.
Look, I don't live right. Every sound make me joke, right? I don't know what it is. It's coming from me. No, but one thing that I told, like my kids, my daughter crochets. She likes to crochet. That is like her mindless thing. So while she's watching her YouTube, she crochets, right? Mother's Day, she crocheted me a cardigan. Okay. That was my gift. But I told them, I said, we are going to invest in our crafts. I write. You know, I write. I love to read. I love to learn about myself and all of that stuff. And so I'm investing in that on a daily basis. My son is an artist, and now he has started to cook. He loves to just try new recipes and stuff like that. And so I made it a point. I said, during this time, we are going to come out of this better than when we went into it. And I made sure that we're investing. Now my son is working on designing, customizing shoes. And so he's practicing it. He's doing research on the different transfer papers and different everything. But I made sure, I'm like, look, we ain't just going to be sitting around here staring at the TV, playing PS4. We going to get better. And I do that, but they go to their dad's house. That's a totally different story. It's a totally different story, but we've been divorced for so long. I've been able, they know there's shit that fly over there that don't fly over here. They already know that.
That's parent different. I'm guilty of it all the time. Okay.
Yeah. So, but they know, because I used to have to deprogram them. Now they actually prefer my home. They prefer the structure of my home. They prefer the activities of my home. All of that. I don't know. I'm the only woman here.
Everybody parents different.
Everyone does.
Dad's parent different from mothers. I'm telling you. Go ahead. Yeah, you can say you might, I'm just gonna
because I say that
even we watch our kids differently.
That
Kevin Hart shit was a joke, but that shit was real.
Now, I say it like this:
when they get too, hey, what y'all doing in there?
We're more lenient. We're way more lenient. But my daughter's mom,
because y'all not nurturers,
way more lenient than I am. So
that's non-parenting.
You're not brought up to be a nurturer.
Yeah.
That's non-parenting. Like, it's easier to be super lenient than it is to have structure and then follow through on it, because the niggas is gonna challenge you. Like you say, if you don't do X, Y will happen. The motherfuckers are not going to do X. And then you're like, hey, I gotta do Y. Like I told you, if you didn't do this shit, you couldn't have your birthday party. And now I gotta fucking not have your birthday party. Like, I gotta go and cancel. So being an actual parent that follows through on your discipline, that's why I don't.
See, that's why
I don't risk shit that I'm not willing to follow through on.
I excel at Y. I'm waiting for you to go ahead and do X so I can do Y.
See, that's we're in the same boat.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
I'm an asshole.
I'm gonna make this shot.
I
would tell you not to do the smallest shit. Just because I know you're gonna do the small shit. And I wanna fuck you up. I ain't gonna lie. I can't wait for my son to become a teenager. I wanna fuck him up.
I think that's why I ain't got no son.
The reason I'm saying that is because going back to the system, we're living here. the system is going to do a lot worse than what I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
So I'm putting you in a position to understand that when somebody tell you don't do something, it's a reason that telling you don't do it. So what you need to do, what I'm doing is I'm conditioning you not to do that bullshit.
Right.
Now, get to the system. We are living up under that system. So I'm teaching you how to be a part of the system, in the system, but not be controlled of the system.
Yes.
So I want you. I want to fuck you. I want to fuck you up.
I will say my kids. I appreciate.
Oh,
You ain't never
So
said
I
that
was-
loud.
I just said I wasn't giving away. I never said that.
You ain't never said it. That's what you meant, though. That's exactly what you meant.
You know, it's different though. I got girls.
I can't wait.
my oldest is a girl.
But all I got is girls.
Okay.
So I was super strict from
Girl
birth
daddy.
to birth to my son. He needed it until about 5 or 6. My daughter needed it until about 8 or 9. And then after that, I don't have to do much. Like, they get in line and they do what they're supposed to do because of how strict I was. But I'm also a different type of mom. I'm gonna tell you how I know, because my son has played travel baseball since he was 6. And when I tell you that mamas, I'll be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, let that boy carry his own fucking bag. You know, like, oh hell no. Like, don't baby him. This nigga forgot his shoes. You deal with it. My son forgot something for practice. Fuck you. You tell the coach that you forgot it. And if he figures out something, that's on him. But mama is not going back to go get the shit that you forgot, because this is your sport. You take responsibility for it. And but that ain't what the mamas that we play with.
Oh no,
do.
Mama.
Yeah, or even like coaching from the sidelines. Nigga, coach, the game is not the time for my voice to drown out the coach's voice. That is not the time. Now we can have a conversation in the car, but even in the car, I'm not gonna be down in the coach. I'm gonna say, how did you feel about the game? What could you have done differently to be more successful? Do you feel like you were successful? Those are the conversations we have. So I'm not one of the mamas that's coddling my son, even though I love him so much, and he is so precious, and he just be like, I don't do that shit in his face. Like, I don't do that.
I'm waiting for you motherfuckers to fuck you up. I ain't gonna lie. You got the time limit with me. Fuck her. I want you to fuck up.
That's so why?
I got a camera in the house watching you so you can
Oh
fuck
my
up.
God.
You got to
Oh
set.
my God. So you're not gonna allow them to, like, okay. So you're not gonna allow them, because me and my ex have different views on this. Like, there is some shit that I did as a teenager that I probably shouldn't have gotten away with, but it's a part of who I am, and it's a part of coming into adulthood. Not saying I'm just gonna give you the freedom to do whatever the fuck you want to do, but like, I did some dumbass shit. I'm gonna give you the leeway to kind of do some dumbass shit, because I don't want you doing the dumbass shit when the stakes are much higher. And you a grown ass motherfucker, and your dumbass shit is gonna land you in jail, or your dumbass shit is gonna land you pregnant. Like, I'm not gonna watch you like that. I don't.
I'm not watching. I'm not watching you like that.
Dumbass shit.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna tell you what you did was some
Dumbass shit.
Don't do that dumbass shit again. Like, I'm gonna let this one ride, but when you do it again, I'm gonna let it rain on you. And then I'm gonna let you understand that, like, my oldest now, hey, you're 18 now. What you get caught doing out there, that carries adult time. So you go out there and get the scrapping, and like my mama told me, you get one. And I got my one, and then when I got to the 2 and 3, I had to deal with that shit on my own.
I ain't had one, folks.
Yeah, I don't get one.
I ain't get one, folks.
Oh no, you get one.
No.
I feel like if it's not done, like, cause you entitled.
I take that back.
I'm gonna take, bro. I got my
You
one.
just told me your daughter got 3.
Yeah,
I ain't get one. I ain't get one.
This.
I got one.
I ain't get
And
one.
I used it. And then after that one,
You go to jail, my nigga.
I appreciate my kids. Ain't nothing like I was in.
Your ass gonna stay in
See,
jail.
that's what.
You gotta figure your way out.
The
Facts. You did that shit. Well, I got military.
like the last situation
course,
that
one
happened,
more
I said,
Right.
My granddad in the
I sat
military.
down and I thought about it.
All my
Like,
granddad
I'm kind of
in the military. They
upset
won't go for that.
at the city
Nah.
I grew up in, because I don't have the ability no more to take my children to show them where I came from, and I don't want y'all. The reason I'm as strict as I am is because look, this is where I came from. You live in a house in a subdivision. You ain't gotta walk over dead bodies. You ain't gotta walk over dope addicts. You ain't gotta do that shit. So why are you doing this dumb shit? Nigga, I pay taxes now.
Yeah, but they don't know that, and that's what I like. That's what my girl tries to get me to understand sometimes. Like the life that I lived, how my mom raised me, and how she was raised by her grandmother, is like night and day. Like it's a difference between being spoiled and being, hey, you're gonna have to work for everything that you get. And if you want that, this is what you're gonna do. Like I remember my first pair of $100 shoes to this day.
I still had $100 shoes.
Because no, but I'm just saying, my mama said, hey, you want these? That lawnmower is outside. You go cut grass and make sure you put them gas.
Boy, I'm past that. But I bought all mine.
But
And I went back and bought them. They right there in the closet. Them Iversons, the first one, right there in the closet.
You know, I saw my son. He's had $100 shoes. I went to the store. I saw them Iversons. I wanted to get them, but you know what I said? I want to be $100
This is how bad it was. They was $114.99. I will never forget that. They was $160 plus tax when I bought them this time, and it's the same fucking shoe. But because I know that I earned that shit, everything else that I got, even my first car, it was like a split decision. Like, okay, you got some money saved up. I'm gonna take the money that you got. I'm gonna help you get this car. This car ain't got no transmission. I'll buy the transmission for you. And my uncle was like, you want this car to run? You be at this house Saturday, 7 o'clock in the morning. And we put that transmission in that car. That was my first car. Ain't no, I graduated and gave you a car. No, nigga, you supposed to graduate.
Nah, this is I have had $100 pair of shoes. I never paid $100 for a pair of shoes. So I have had $100 pair of shoes, but I just never paid for them.
So what you brought up something, and I think our generation, and my daddy said this a long time before he passed, and a long time before the situation looked the way it did. He said that our children are going to be the first generation to do worse than their parents. And I think part of it is we've progressed and we have advanced so much, us 80 babies, that we're not letting our children go through the struggles we went through because they don't have to. But part of what made us so grimy and so like gritty and able to hustle through this shit is the shit that we went through. And so we're creating these soft ass, I'm telling you, the kids in the schools, these motherfuckers is soft as shit.
Coronavirus.
They soft. But they're soft. And part of it is that we are not, because we have succeeded and we want them to benefit from our success. Even the ones that are making them kind of work for it. Like I was just saying about my son. My son does yards in the neighborhood, right? And so there's some equipment that is run by a battery. I bought the equipment for our yard. So I bought the weed eater and the blower because I didn't want the gas powered. I wanted the battery powered. The battery that came with it dies too quickly. So I went to the store. I got a bigger battery. And I asked him, I said, I said, because part of it, I bought the equipment for our yard and he just hustled. He went out there, he was mowing our yard and he ended up picking up 2 additional yards.
Contract.
He ended up picking up 2 yards and then picked up a yard down the street on his own hustle. So the equipment was bought for us, but his hustling got him yards in the neighborhood. I bought a bigger battery, but before I bought it, I said, look, you complain about this dying too quickly. What are you willing to invest in upgrading your equipment so that you could do a better job? And he said, he's willing. I'll pay half. Cool. I'm gonna take $50 because this double pack 15. This double pack of batteries costs $99. I'm gonna take $50 from you. I'm willing to put $50 because part of it is for our yard, and we're gonna go about it. Same thing with his investment with his shoes. Why should I put money up for you if you're not investing in your craft yourself? What are you willing to put up so that I will then? And so, but even with that,
you're leasing my equipment.
this motherfucker is still spoiled as shit. He's still spoiled, and his dad spoils him like hell. Why? Because his dad was spoiled growing up, and his thing is he don't give us no issues. He does what he's supposed to do. He's a straight A student in the magnet program. Takes 2 sports during COVID. Research workouts on his own to figure out how to get his weight up and how to do baseball and practice his swing and all of that. So his dad feels like because you're that kid, I'm gonna do everything for you. My son is like, nah, nigga, I want my own shit. My son wanted to get a job at Publix. My son wanted to do.
You doing everything right?
No, because that's part of the reason why they don't understand. Because even if we were doing everything right when we were growing up, the parents are like, shit, what you want, a cookie? Nigga, you supposed to do that
First
shit.
off, you supposed to make good
You
grades.
supposed to do that shit.
I'm gonna give you help because I see your work ethic is where
Right.
it needs to be.
Right.
I'm gonna help you when I realize that what you're doing as far as in working or something like that, if something else starts to fall to the wayside,
Right.
as a parent, I'm here to catch you and let you know, look, this is what you're doing.
That's what I'm saying.
But you don't get everything.
But you don't get everything.
Not on demand.
But the problem is, that's what happens. Hey, bro, I can drop 20 points a game. That gonna give me every guy. No, nigga, you got a whole bunch of other shit you need to take care of because when real life hits you, you're gonna have to take care of all that other shit plus what you gotta do.
But even if you taking care of all of that, like what I'm saying is, back in the day, that did not get us a cookie. That did not get us $100 pair of shoes. That did not get us the best car. It was like, no, that's your basic payment for for being a child and growing up and living in this house and me not putting my foot in your throat every fucking day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the basics. You don't get a cookie for graduating. You don't get a cookie for washing the dishes without being asked. But nowadays, everybody wants a fucking cookie. Huh?
But see, that's
that nigga don't like
that's
hug.
what happened.
We
That used to be.
I appreciate the shit. I appreciate
It's like I grew up in a household. Out of all my siblings, I was the only one who had a job in high school because I like clothes. My mom was like, "Nigga, I'm not buying them clothes. Your shit costs too much.
Yep.
You like a certain type of taste.
Yep.
Like, I'm not buying that damn Ralph Lauren. I got 2 other fucking children. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to goddamn get that shit? You go get you a job, and you buy that shit on your own. Cool. Guess what? I had me a job when I was goddamn in the 10th grade. Them niggas didn't have a job till they graduated. Them niggas didn't have a job till they graduated college. You hear what I'm saying? They ain't graduated till they graduated. We were blessed. I will put it to you like that. But at the end of the day, my mom was like, I'm not purchasing none of that because that ain't in my guy. I can't afford that. She could have, but she lying. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it 1,000. It wasn't her budget though. It ain't in her budget. You gotta respect it.
But see, that goes back to what I said earlier. We live outside our means.
I ain't live outside of my means.
I'm not saying you.
I live.
When
I went and got a job, that was my means.
Like my ex-husband is an engineer, been an engineer for 20 years. He ain't living outside his means. He buying what the fuck he want to buy for his kids. He's living in the house. He actually living in the house that he grew up in. So you took over your parents' old house. Nigga ain't got no mortgage. He could buy his son a $300 bike. All his son knows is he got a $300 bike. Now he don't know that it came free when his dad bought the bike that he bought. But he can get whatever he wants. He just got them J's got sent to the house. The ones that just came out just got delivered to the house the other day. Why does nigga need some J's? It ain't no school. Where he going? Who he getting fresh for? That's my take on it.
I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what it is.
I mean, that's my take on it.
On the whole show.
That's right. Yeah.
But my parents, like summer before high school, so my eyes are horrible. I had really big glasses, and I was teased for a very long time for my really thick glasses. And I was like, y'all, I cannot start high school with these glasses.
My son, I ain't never seen you with no glasses on, folks.
Look, I cannot start high school with these glasses. My parents were like, you're always breaking your glasses. We're not buying you contacts. You're not responsible enough to take care of them.
Glasses.
Then, what did I do? What I was allowed to do at 14 was work at the pools. I could work 4 hours a day, 20 hours a week, and save up that money to buy myself my what? My contacts. Because fuck you, I'm not going to high school with these big ass Coke bottles.
Birth control.
They actually weren't, sir.
No. That's what they're called. They keep people from coming at you.
Motherfuckers still saying that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying I did that, and also my parents told me
I'm doing two for you.
my school budget
Keep the
for
babies out of the house.
clothes and shoes and school supplies was $300. And my dad used to say, "You better get you some jeans. It ain't gonna be hot forever." I'm like, so $300 and then never no other dollars at all throughout the year.
You learn how to flip it.
So in order to dress the way I wanted to dress, I had to work. Period. And the only time from the time that I started working at 14 until I became a full-time employee, I only took 1 semester off from working, and that was the first semester of college. And I was like, fuck this shit. I gotta work. And I got a job my second semester.
That's when parents were being parents. They taught all the shit you complaining about. They taught you some shit.
Right.
You learned, and back when we don't, and I'm saying we, but I'm not exactly talking about us. We don't teach our children like good shit like that.
Right.
We look at it as a bad thing.
Right.
No, it's not a bad thing. They taught us
Responsibility.
They taught you how to budget your money. They taught you financial things. They taught you all that. We don't do that shit today. And I'm really not, I don't want to speak about your ex-husband, but he wasn't taught that. So he's now giving the same stuff that he was not taught to his son.
Right, because he was taught you do what you're supposed to do.
You get that shit.
You get whatever you want.
Yeah.
So that's what he did.
Told me, we don't celebrate mediocrity. Right. I'm not finna celebrate you doing what you're supposed to do. Yep. Like, you do some extraordinary shit, we'll celebrate then. But until then, you do what you need to do. And from there, I've always had my hustles got me in trouble. Shit, my mom used to buy my school supplies in middle school. I used to sneak in her room, take them shits, and sell them. I had a whole locker that I would undercut the whole school store until I got in trouble. I got my ass whooped. I had to buy but I had enough money put up to buy back all my school supplies and give my mama her money and keep doing what I was doing. We moved on from candy, and from candy to CDs to everything else. And I look at it now, when I look at my kids, I laugh because the other day, like, shit, my 12-year-old was taking her snacks to school and selling them. That's how. And now she knows, like, hey, I'm not giving you no money. She was like, that's fine, whatever. She hit the apartment, she grabbing everybody's trash, came back with $45. Like, it's something you picking up something somewhere along the way.
My son asked me, I was like, baby, I work in the schools. You can't be caught selling candy. He was like, we got a BJ's membership now. Can I sell candy at school? I won't get caught. I said, well, I work in the school, so I can't. Don't nobody care. I said, well, it's against the rules. So we're going to find another way.
Just tell him don't get caught, and I don't know nothing. That's it.
Somebody took his ass to BJ's.
I agree with you, but
Somebody took his ass to BJ's. If I were just a classroom teacher, yes, but I'm the motherfucker that take people's bags.
That's fine. You just had to take his bag one day. Be like, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. That's it. Don't knock the hustle.
You should not have to keep the privilege he has.
Hey, look,
you
get caught. You are just like anybody else.
Hey, look, I know these rules, but just for you because you're in the school. You're a privilege to him. You're a beneficiary to him. So let him succeed.
Yeah, if you sneak past me, you should look past me.
That's
it.
Like,
don't let me take it.
So I would say this. I hear y'all. I really did hesitate.
That's good. As long as you did that.
I did hesitate. But what it does is it undermines my authority to do that if everyone knows that my child is doing it.
But I don't know my child.
Does your parent know everything that you did?
No.
All right, then.
It ain't matter. Well, I'm gonna tell you, my daughter would show up to school. Now you rode to school with me. Okay, we used to live in Decatur, so you rode 25 fucking miles with me. And then I happened to come into your classroom. Bitch, why you got on a crop top?
A whole new outfit.
You got a fucking crop top? What the hell? So now I can't even hold nobody else accountable to damn dress code because my daughter done rolled with me for 25. Why? Because she had the sweatshirt on? I mean, I can't. I still did.
You have to treat her just like everybody
I
else.
did.
Why you can't?
So I understand when I catch your ass, you catch me the same
I
shit
did.
everybody else.
Here's the thing, though.
But the conversation was 6:30.
Y'all catch out J2O podcast for the rest of the what's going on live.
You have to be like, yo, got some good shit. You good. Just don't let me catch your dick.
That shit. I will tell you.
You good,
Let me tell you. I caught her ass. She had to wear for a month a white t-shirt and jeans. For a whole month, she had to wear a white t-shirt and jeans because she kept sneaking her little crop tops.
You got it. Great.
That's what I'm saying.